Have you heard about the heist of DB Tuber?
No, I have not.
You have not?
I have not.
Wow. Let me tell you about this heist of DB Tuber. Okay.
All right, all right.
Okay. So there lived like 16,000 people in Monroe, Washington, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who at the time all lived by two rules. One of the rules I think everyone should abide by. And that one rule was minding their own business. Okay? Up until say like the 30th of September 2008. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The time, I'll set in the scene. Okay? The time was 11 a.m. when landscapers, quote unquote, okay, gathered at the local strip mall dressed in identical outfits. Work boots, blue hats, blue long sleeve shirts, and a safety vest and a mask, right? A particle mask, right?
Mm. All right.
Needless to say, you couldn't see or identify anyone, right? At 11:05, a Brinks truck arrived as scheduled at the Bank of America at the strip mall. The security guard stepped out of the truck to collect 2 bags of cash and 4 boxes of coins. After shutting the door of the truck, the guard proceeded to move his delivery towards the bank when suddenly the only working landscaper who was spraying the lawn at the time of the arrival ditched what he was doing. Okay? He ditched what he was doing and started booking it towards the guard, right? Yeah, yeah. When the guy reached the guard, they proceeded to right. So they pull a can of mace and spray the guard in the face. So by doing this, the guard didn't even get a chance to react. So with the guard now incapacitated, the landscaper took the bags of cash and fled across the street to Eagle Park. The crime took about, let's say, like 30 seconds. Okay.
Mm.
Across the street, there was a real estate agent on the phone with a client who watched the whole thing go down. Now, take this in. While the agent watched the landscaper rush the security guard, he told his client, and I quote, "There's a bank robbery. Gotta go." He then called the authorities, informing them of the incident and gave chase after the landscaper, right? Who, as he saw or was witnessing, was now playing Frogger across traffic. Bro, this heist is like the most outlandish ever. But anyway, so while he was running away, the robber stripped off their hat, long brown wig, their face mask, and shorts. Now, my mind when I heard this was so he's running butt naked. Okay, cool. Once the robber reached Eagle Park, the agent lost them. The last thing they saw was the robber running into the woods with nearly $400,000 under their arms.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Within minutes, the police arrived at the scene, okay, and were greeted by one of the landscapers shouting, "We just got scammed!" The police soon found out that each landscaper replied to the same Craigslist ad listed from the Clean Monroe Beautification Project, a lucrative 9-day landscaping job paying $28.50 an hour, and they were told to meet up on a particular lot between the Bank of America and Jack in the Box. Fam, what did I tell you like last session, bro? I said Craigslist is where you get scammed, bro. Anyways, the ad also specified that all workers must purchase eye protection, ventilator masks, yellow safety vests, long sleeve and no shorts, along with proper foot protection. Now that part was kind of fishy to me, right? Like, if you say no shorts, why was this man wearing shorts? You know? I was kind of confused, but anyway.
I could be a specific type of shorts.
You go, you go into a landscaping job wearing booty shorts, bro.
uh, hey, free range of motion, more sprinting, range your leg.
No, no. Anyway, so now the lead detective followed the trail of the the perpetrator fled down, right? They collected the items that were left behind. The path came to a dead end at the edge of Woods Creek, a stream less than 2 feet deep, and after an hour of finding nothing, despite aerial and canine units, a patrol officer finally found a yellow and black inner tube 200 miles downstream hidden under some underbrush. They also found torn off shirts, a radio that was velcroed onto the tube, and a steel cable that was stretched between a tree and a fallen log that the robber used to pull themselves up, right? Now, the police managed to collect little to no evidence by the time the search was called off. The CCTV footage was no help, and the DNA samples that they got from the wig and mask didn't match anyone in the system. When the crime was released to the public, radio personnel related the similarities to that of D.B. Cooper, but instead of jumping from a plane, this person used an inner tube, and thus the name DB Tuber was born. So, do you think they caught the person?
That's wild. I I don't that he's gone. He's gone. I don't know where that tube went, but he is gone. He pulled the old water park slippers light trick. He went shoo wherever the hell that tube was
Mm-mm.
going. Who?
So
I
you
don't think
don't
they
think that
caught
they
him.
caught the
I
person?
don't think they
You
caught him.
you don't think so?
No. Unless they had a group of people that just went through the tube after him.
Mm, okay. So they did caught the person, right? The person they arrested was Anthony Dean, who spent 6 years in prison. And when he was released from jail, he became a best-selling author because he wrote books while he was in prison.
Okay.
Yeah. But I thought that you would have picked up something while I told you about DB Tuber's story, right? Because they found a radio. It was like a walkie-talkie kind of radio, right?
Hmm.
Which means, who the hell you talking to? Because clearly you must have an accomplice if you have a radio, no?
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. But he was the only one arrested because they couldn't find the other people. Uh,
Interesting.
he was dealt a sad hand of cards, bro.
That's
Like, yeah. I wanted to tell you that because I remembered it. I was like, oh shoot, I gotta like talk about this. Hey. Oh. Oh, so I have a next question for you, right?
hmm
I asked Javi this last night. Shout out Javi, right?
yeah.
If you if you were able to talk to any celebrity, okay,
Right.
or like get the attention of any celebrity, what would be your biggest accomplishment?
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
If I could get the attention of any celebrity, what would be my biggest accomplishment?
Yeah. Like you got their attention,
Right.
right? What reaction out of them would be like, you know, your your accomplishment? Because he was like, if they want to continue talking and they follow me, like they follow me back on like Instagram or whatever. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, honestly, befriending a celeb would be pretty cool. Like, if
Mm,
like if you were to meet like Ryan Reynolds or Hugh Jackman and
mm,
like on just like on the press release or like something of like Deadpool and Wolverine or whatever, and like they think you're really cool and like whatever the case, and you just get along and like yeah, had a blast talking, interacting with you. Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. Not gonna lie.
really?
Yeah.
Man, my priorities are messed up, bro. Cause like,
Oh, what? Oh, yeah. So, what did you have in mind?
no, because like, maybe because I got the attention of like the say well-known people already,
Mm-hmm.
and like I had a few wish me happy birthday on my birthday, right?
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, like specialized messages or whatever. But and when Vine was around, Justin Bieber followed me on Vine. I was like, okay.
Well,
But
damn.
yeah, so like it wasn't, I didn't really care. Like that doesn't matter to me. I think if you're able to make a celebrity laugh, that's my accomplishment. And I accomplished that like a few days ago.
Nice.
Yeah, because damn, I feel so bad mentioning their names, bro. Like, on my main account, because I didn't message him on my art account. If he listens to this, oh well, right? But on my main account, I don't know if you saw it on Instagram. I posted up when you're like watching Jumpers Jump episodes. You notice it finally processes how close they are to each other, and now you have a pending question, right? And I'm there typing this out. I'm like, oh shoot, he's gonna see this and he's probably gonna laugh because like no one thinks of that, right? Like that's not something on everyone's minds. And I at him, I was like, yo, do y'all's knees touch?
That's the most random question ever.
It is. It is. It's kind of funny, okay? But like it was legit going on in my mind while I was watching this episode because the camera panned for like back and forth between Carlos and Gavin, right?
Right.
And I was like, damn, they really are close, aren't they? They're mad close, bro. Like, do their knees touch? Because they're
Who
relatively
thinks of that? It's
close.
like you see two people sitting at the table, and then like, damn, they're my toes. I wonder if their knees touch.
No,
No,
because
I
like,
must
okay.
investigate.
Okay. You're tall, right?
Yeah.
You and who's the next tall person in the group? Bro, I don't.
I would say probably Kishon. I mean, Josiah's tall too, you know. Josiah's pretty.
Yeah, I know Josiah is tall, but I don't think Josiah is 6 foot, bro.
Wow.
Okay.
Nah.
Say like you have two 6 foot people sitting at a desk, right? Lengthways.
All right. Shout out Boucher. Me and Boucher. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like if you two were sitting opposite each other, your knees would touch, no?
No, it would not. No, it would not. Because we have our stomach. We are not so close to the table, right? Like our body.
No,
Just
okay. How many Jumpers Jump episodes have you watched?
Not that many.
Okay. If you because I've been on a binge, right? But like there are some episodes where both of them are like up on the desk, right? On the table, right? So like in that moment, right? Do you think they play Tetris with their legs, bro?
No, I don't think so. No, because like the way how you would sit and then you position and angle yourself, I don't think it would touch. That's the thing.
Bruh,
I don't
it's
think
just
it
something
would.
that came to mind, and I was laughing about it for like a hot half hour. I'm like, bro, I gotta ask because I want to know, but I know I wasn't gonna get an answer. So like the least I thought about, Loki kind of manifested it, right? I was like, Carlos is a busy dude. He's not like, I
Yeah.
don't think he'd respond to this, but he did see it, and he ended up laughing at it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. He reacted to it with a laughing emoji. I was like, I accomplished.
Who does really study that, boy? If two tall people sitting at the table, do their knees touch? Do they play this with their foot? What? No.
It's just something that goes on in your mind. You don't think about it.
Nah, you different. You different. Because that has never crossed my mind in all my
You
years
never
of
once
being
sat
alive.
down opposite somebody and your knees accidentally touch. Like like you sit down, your knees hit each other. Like you
Right,
don't.
yeah, but then like
Right.
both
So
people
like,
then
how is
reposition
that?
themselves. So it's only like a second worth of contact, right? And it may be even when you're sitting down, you're angling yourself to get in to sit down, it touches, sure. But it's not like you're sitting down there and knees just touching the whole time you're there, eye contact, just talking, and it's like, no.
I not say that I'd have to like touch the whole 1 hour plus, right? I'm
Okay.
saying, right? Like if it just brushes against each other,
But
like
yeah, I
from
mean that's
time
a
to
that's a
time.
natural occurrence for anything.
Well, right. That's what I mean. So what's so wrong with asking guys if like their knees touch?
Yeah, no, because no, but it's like it bound to happen like every
Oh,
once in a while or rarely, but nobody says like, oh, nobody sits down and actually thinks about it. Like
bro, it's like me watching this famous this. Oh my gosh, you know the gamer that like does. He trolls people with his voice, and he
that's a
turns
lot of
into
people.
like Nate. You know Nate? Shout out
Neat.
Nate. Yeah, I used to like watch his streams and stuff.
I think I may have known
I
Neat.
sent you I sent you one of his things
I
already.
read, yeah.
Yeah, Nate. I was I was on his stream, bro. I swear I say the weirdest shit that people are like, I and then I feel like that solidifies a core memory in them that is like I've never been asked this question before
Damn.
in this particular way, right?
So
So
you're giving people
yeah,
PTSD out here. Okay.
no, it's not. It's not, bro. I
You're that one random person that that comes up with the question that is equivalent to seeing a unicorn in like and just be like, I about to study this in like this about to be in the back of my head and I about to study
no,
this.
it's like, bro. Okay, so he was talking, and I was like, I don't know if he's gonna see this, but I hope he does, right?
Mm.
I'm typing it up. I was like, would you adopt me as your girlfriend?
What?
He was like, I've never been asked that question in that way before. That's such a it's such a unique way of asking that.
He did not know what to say because homie was flabbergasted. You just streaming there trolling people. Yeah, man. Yeah, think. Look over at chat. Can you adopt me as your girlfriend? Like,
Yeah, like adopt me as your girlfriend, bro. Like, would you? Would you give me the opportunity? Like, he's like,
yeah, but
I don't
like,
know.
why you had to ask that way?
And then like, no, like honestly, he replied with, "Oh, I'm not taking any adoptions right now." I feel like that one was like my most outlandish one. but but the one that I asked Carlos, I was like, yeah, I don't know what went on with that one, but it's mundane compared to asking him to like, yo, adopt me as your girlfriend. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah. Yeah. And like it was so funny because he took a while to respond to it, right? Because he just moved on because his flabbers were gasted, as you say. And
Yeah.
then later on I was like, oh, you never answered my question. He was like, what question was that? Oh, the adoption thing.
Yeah, because like it's one of those things where you had a double take. You had to take a double take and make sure you read it correctly, and then you had to ponder it for a second. But then you get distracted by something else, and then you come back, like, you get asked the question, or you remember that you was pondering about something, and be like, "Oh, you back here,
Mhm.
okay?"
Yeah, yeah. I think he really wanted to forget about it, and I was like, "Nah, fam. Like, I need an answer. I can get the adoption papers tomorrow."
uh,
Listen, that was me shooting my shot, okay? In a way that I was able to accept rejection.
crazy. You know what else is crazy? The
What?
witchcraft is be walking sometimes. Yeah.
Leave? I fed up. I not having this debate with you right now. Not me at all,
Yes.
bro.
Yes.
I know for a fact it made me realize that I don't want to have a podcast where it's like you have to face each other because I know if like one person could think about it, i.e. me, right? There's like other people out there that would think about it, right? It's just
Yeah.
you know how it has sometimes like my mom does this most of the time, right? When you see something, you think about it, you decide, nah, fam, I'm not gonna say anything, and then like there's like that one person that says exactly what your intrusive thoughts were thinking, and it's like, why would you ask that? Like they ask it for you. It's like, I mean, I want to know, but like,
At the same
I
time,
wasn't gonna
you
say
didn't need to
anything. Yeah,
ask. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say anything. Anyway,
Uh,
yeah, I think me making him laugh because he seems like somebody that's not easy to laugh, right? Like,
mm.
yeah, I I felt accomplished, bro. I was like, I could go to sleep now.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, moving on. So, have you heard about the Sonya Massey story? It's like blowing up on TikTok.
Sonya Massey, sorry.
Mhm.
No,
At the
because
time of this recording, it's blowing up on TikTok. Yeah.
I haven't been on TikTok all that much.
Yeah, clearly because I send you stuff. But then again, you
Eh.
don't really send me. So, RIP to Sonya Massey. Okay.
Oh, you mean oh right, no. I now realize I now remember. Yeah. I did see it. I did see it, yeah.
Yeah, I was telling my mom this. I was like, it just pissed me off, you know? But for anyone that doesn't know or like need a refresher because this is coming out in like August. It's probably August when you're listening to this.
Mhm.
Sonya Sonya Massey is this dark skinned lady, right? I'm sorry. Sonya Massey is this dark skinned lady who called the police to her home for whatever reason. I can't remember. I think what it was like she
You
thought
sure?
somebody was breaking
Wait,
into.
wait, wait, sorry.
Oh,
She saw some sort of mysterious figure or somebody was harassing her, and she called the police for help, right?
okay, right, right. I thought because on my end, I thought it was like somebody was breaking into a house, right? Like she thought somebody was going to break into a house, right?
Yeah, it was like some harassment or something, or somebody she was just like outside her house and she called police for help.
Yeah. So the police showed up at her residence, and at first it was fine. She was compliant. Okay, she wasn't hostile towards them. She wasn't rude in any way. And she asked the officer who was asking her questions, "Oh, can I remove a pot of water that I'm boiling on the stove?" The officer gives her permission. And when she goes to, excuse me, when she goes to remove the pot of water, that's when things took a turn for the worse. And the officer got hostile. I can't remember the officer's name, but like, if you want, you can look it up though. The officer got hostile towards her, and she's a woman of God. Okay, she's a God fearing woman, and she said, "Okay, I see what this is, and I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ." And he took that as a threat. I don't know if like his soul didn't agree with that statement, and he let go some shots into her head. Okay. Then so like conveniently, his body cam footage was off. And after he shot her twice in her head, because I watched the body cam footage, he set off two shots, right?
It was three.
There was three?
There was three shots to
Bruh.
the head. Yeah.
Oh my word. Anyway, so I only heard two because I guess I was only allowed to hear two. But so he let off shots into her. And after he let off the shots, he put on his body cam and he was like, she's got a weapon, right? And then the next person, he was like, where's the weapon? Right? When he went over to the body, he's like, where's the weapon? And he was like, oh, she grabbed the pot of water and she told me, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ. Like, it's just some terrible excuse, bro.
I really can't understand that man thought process. Like he's on some shit. He's
You
on
know,
some real shit. But
I was talking to my mom about this and I was like, what happened was terrible, right? But I was more confused by because you have full body cam footage from when they entered the residence, right?
yeah, from his partner.
From his partner. And his partner was standing there the entire time, not saying jack squat, right? And I was like, that's what unsettled me because he didn't say anything. He didn't do anything, you know? The
Mhm.
most he did was like probably move two steps, asked her one question, and that was it. And my mom was like, maybe he was bounded because she was able to see that he wasn't human, right? Like his I will explain why, but like me, she was able to see that the person standing in front of her wasn't an actual person,
Yep.
and that's why she was like, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ," and his soul wasn't pleased with that, and for whatever reason, the battle that was taking place, the other officer wasn't able to move or say anything because he was bounded and he couldn't do anything, right? And I was like, okay. Now, I also told her that there was this other TikToker who who spoke about the incident, right?
Hmm.
And she was like, America, you can't let this slide because like it doesn't matter what the color of this person is, right? Like this isn't right.
Yeah,
Okay.
not.
And she was like, she's like sixth gen person, right? She's like the sixth gen in her family.
Hmm.
And her grandmother always tells her, if you were able to see the things that roam the earth that are disguised as humans but aren't humans, you'd run, right? And I was like, yeah, yeah, that's facts, right?
Real.
The shit that's been roaming this earth, bro, is not nice. And so that that's why mom was like, yeah, like she was able to see that the person standing in front of her wasn't actually human, and she was like, oh, nah, I not. I'm not dealing with this right now. But like, God rest her soul. God rest the families,
I feel
grief
so
and
bad for
stuff.
the kids.
Yeah, I feel, bro, I was heated. I was so
I was
heated.
like, why? Because I'm so confused as to like
Mhm.
why he tripped and he put three shots in the head for no reason.
Because
I was so
because
confused when I first saw it.
it's like I don't like to watch things like that, right?
Mhm.
I love how I say this when I just finished like All of Us Are Dead, right? I'm like, all of us are dead, but like that's different. That's zombies, right? And the whole
Sure.
time I'm like, okay, hit him again in his head for good measure. Hit him again for good measure, right? But anyway, and then he comes back to life, and I'm like, see, I told you to hit him again for good measure. You didn't do that. Now look at you, dead. But anyway, so but like there's certain shows where say some gruesome stuff takes place, I can't watch it, right?
Hmm.
And then there are shows where I'm like, all right, and now what? Okay, real life stuff. Like if for shows, I guess if it's like way too much on the spiritual side, I'm not allowed to watch it. Like it just disgusts me. I can't look at it, right?
Hmm.
But real life stuff, that's real life, bro. Like you could walk outside at any given moment, and like God forbid, that could be you. That could be like one of your family members, and then you have to like live with that, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't like watching those things. I never watch it, especially on news, especially when they show and this is why I don't like to go to funerals, bro. Especially like you get shot in your head, and the family is like, you gotta go see the body. No, I don't want to see that. Why would I want to see that?
Hmm.
So, but this one I looked at, maybe because they blew it out what happened at that point
Hmm.
in time, but I wanted to look away. And the urge, I wanted to turn my head, but it felt like every time I turned my head, like somebody grabbed my head and turned it back to look at it. So I was like, I don't want to look at this though. I couldn't even close my eyes, bro. And I was like, okay, this is spiritual warfare that came into the physical realm, and that's just sad. Like that's never fun to deal with at all. E- No, E- especially when you have a disadvantage, bro. Like you unarmed, okay,
Yeah.
and even self, right? Say you are holding up a pot of boiling water, fam. You know how much work it is to swing a a full pot of water,
Yeah, and I
boiling
mean,
or
not
not,
to mention from the
and
time
and the other
your body
person.
twitch is it shuts.
Yeah,
So
and the other person has a gun. And my mom was more pissed with the fact that he didn't even give her a warning. All right,
no, he didn't.
he just let it off, and I was like, "That's what you pissed about." And then that's when I was like, I was more pissed that this other police officer didn't do anything to stop it. But anyway, I was like, "Yeah, he didn't warn her," but again, that's just the stigma that America has now towards like people of color or like different any other race that is
Yeah,
not white, right?
pretty much.
Yeah, so it's like that's how they are. They don't really care. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do this because you're a minority, right? It's sad.
It really is.
Yeah, I wanted to like tell you about it. I didn't what, but so you were confused.
Yeah, I was like, why this man just gets so agitated when the woman was just talking and then she said something and then he got so mad that he bust three shots in her head. Like what like what is that?
Mm.
Because there's no probable cause to do that.
You ever heard like old people say, if you're ever in a fight, like a spiritual fight, just call on the name of Jesus, right?
Hmm.
But there's also the other side of, yeah, you call on him for help, right? He'll deal with it. But then there's the other side where you have exorcists, right? And they go, and they have to call upon him, right? But
Hmm.
it always aggravates the entities that they're trying to get out from somebody or like they're dealing with because like the hell you calling his name for, type stuff, and it just makes them more upset.
Hmm.
So I think that's what went on there. her just saying I rebuke is one part, and then she's like, in the name of Jesus Christ, which is another part. And it's like, oh, so we fighting now. Yeah. It felt like a declaration of war when that went down. I was so sad. It was
That
so
is-
quick too.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's heartbreaking, man.
Yeah. I I don't know. Man, it's those types of things that just make me lose any sort of,
Faith in people.
in the in the system that's supposed to protect you.
Yeah, well, you think
Yeah.
about there's no system in any government or in any sort of protection is, you know, clean.
My mom told me that. She was like,
Yeah.
that happens here too, right? I was like, I don't really call these people, right? Like, we had fires near my house, and I called the fire station. I was like, yo, people are burning stuff right outside my house. Can you please come and like deal with it? Because there are people here that suffer with asthma and like breathing problems and stuff. And he was like, I'm sorry, we can't do anything for that. You have to call this section. And I'm like, but it's spreading to the house. Like it's no longer just one contained spot. This is a bushfire now. He's like, I can't do anything for that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's most upsetting. Hi. At what age do you accept that your digestive system and you are never going to be friends again?
Hmm. I would say past 70.
Past 70, that's mental.
Maybe. Yeah.
I I already gave up, bro.
Well, I mean,
From the time I learned that I suffer with acid reflux
yeah.
and I almost choked in my sleep from it, I said,
Ah,
that's a wraps.
your
Because it
digestive
keeps you
system
up at
start
night.
early, boy. Sure.
It just, it keeps you up at night, bro. Your chest hurts, your throat burns.
For real.
It's terrible. Oh, I have an next one for you, right? At what age or at what point in your life do you just accept death? Like, you come to the realization, death is inevitable. It is what it is.
I mean, I'd say that I've already accepted that, like, at one point, we don't know when something might
Mm-hmm.
happen, something may not happen. We die natural causes, old age,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But at the end of the day, right,
Mm-hmm.
everybody must leave. So, like, I've already accepted that. And it's like, yeah, you want to see things, you want to live and experience things and see how much stuff changed and everything like that. But it comes to a certain point where it be, you know, something that you could control or something out of your control or some random thing that just happens in the universe, and a speck of dust hit this person's eye, and then they swerve and they end up hitting into some car, and then an oil tanker flies off the road, and yeah,
Watching too
it
much
could
Final
basically
Destination, bro.
happen. Anything could basically happen. So I mean, I've come to terms with the fact that eventually all of us will die. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, it's kind of scary to think about, but at the same time,
Mm.
it doesn't make sense thinking about it because you never know when it will happen.
Mm.
So
I think the funniest one for me was when I was watching Kenji and Kenji was like, yo, I just realized how lazy I am. But it's not the fact that he was lazy, right? I think it was him realizing that he doesn't fear death as much as he think he would, right? Because his his fire alarm went off in his apartment and he heard it. He got up, he rolled his eyes, and he's like, "Man, I'm gonna go back to sleep." Right?
hurrah.
It's like, damn, fam, you could have died. And then when he woke up, he was like, oh shoot, I could have died, bro. Like if it was real, I could have died. But it's like, nah, man, I was too tired. I went back to sleep.
Madness.
Yeah. But like for me, it didn't hit me until I was talking to Javi and I told him the story. I don't know if I told you the story, right? When I ended up in hell and it was like a loop.
Yeah, you
And I
told
was
me.
like,
Yeah, you told me this.
yeah. I was like, oh shoot. I I just accepted it, right? I just accepted it. And then like it happened again. And that was the time it solidified that, oh yeah, I don't like
I
if
don't, I
I
don't
die, I
care,
die.
man. Just let me do my thing, bro. I'm busy trying to study this, do this.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Where I was just like, oh well, this is what it is. If I'm meant to be here, I'm meant to be here. I'm not gonna put up a fight, you know? Ugh, I'm already dead, bro. Yeah. 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 Okay. Do you have anything you want to say before we end it off?
Hmm. I would like to say
Mm.
that they need to cut down prices for food, man. Like, what the hell? Listen,
Like bought food?
yeah, everything, stuff in groceries, fast food. When you go out to buy,
Mm.
it's like you don't even gain like enough for your money's worth, you know. And that it's
Sam, I don't know where you be going, but I be going to some places. I be
no,
getting
no,
my
no, no. Well,
money.
obviously, there are places that give you like good amounts of food, but like the majority of them
Mm-hmm.
here, it's just like
Mm-hmm.
it don't even taste as good as it used to. Sometimes the quantity
Mm-hmm.
real small. All the sauces be watered down because they're trying to, cut costs of making fresh batch of sauce. So
The hell you where you going? Okay, all right. All right.
no, but that's like on some days, right? That's like on some days, but
Mm.
yeah,
Oh my
uh,
word.
I mean,
Okay, so to end it off, I want to ask you a question of what's the most dangerous thing you've done in school that could have ended up badly, but it didn't?
hmm.
I feel like whatever story you tell me, mine is gonna top it.
Yeah, that's the
But,
thing.
you
I've
know,
never done anything outlandish in school. That's the thing. I'm a boring person. So I haven't
I'm
really
a
done
boring
anything.
person. So fun.
Well, I haven't done anything outlandish in school because one thing is because I hated school. So
I mean,
I did most. We just talked to friends. That was about it. We didn't do anything outlandish or anything stupid. So
mm,
I mean, there was
so
one time where a dustbin did come flying out from the first story window, but I mean,
what the hell? You
yeah,
did that?
no, that wasn't me.
Oh, I asked about you. Do I ask about
No, no, no,
you?
no, no.
Okay,
I
so
haven't done anything.
this popped back into my mind recently. I'm not gonna say his name.
No way.
But again, the fact that I still remember his name, bro, he could have lost an eye. That's how bad it was. Yeah, yeah. So I was in primary school, and either the teacher wasn't there for the day, or no, because that date had fights too. Yeah, so the teacher didn't show up, right?
Mhm.
And this guy. So you know how like when a teacher doesn't show up, the closest teacher in that grade has to come and like give like lessons to, right, like the
Yeah,
class.
yeah,
So the teacher came, gave us work. We were like, okay, fine. This guy was like, yo, Ray, hand me a pencil, right? Like, let me borrow a pencil. Can I get a pencil? And he's like, I said, okay, fine, sure. We went off to break, came back. We still had to do the work. And he's like, Ray, can I get the pencil? I said, okay, fine, but I'm looking for something on the ground, right?
yeah.
And like, he's been asking me for a while. I'm kind of annoyed because, like, bro, I'm gonna hand you the pencil. I didn't look at this dude. I don't know if you know where it's gonna go, but I didn't look at this dude. I was
No way
still
you
on
handed
the
him the pencil
ground.
blind and he was
I It's worse than that, bro. I was still looking at the floor, looking for whatever the hell I was looking for at that point in time. I picked up the pencil and I threw it at the guy
what the hell?
in his direction because, like, before I went down, pause to look for whatever I had to look for. I took a mental note of where he was, right? So I just like reached under my desk. Because you have the little thing under your desk, right? I
Yeah,
reached under
yeah.
my desk. I threw my pencil, and I knew it was bad when the whole class went, "Oh my gosh!"
Cha.
I, I raised my head up, right? Feeling guilty because like I have no idea what happened because like I know I shouldn't have thrown it, right? I raised up. It's the funniest scene I've ever seen. Okay? The pencil, this guy had braids in his hair. Right?
Right.
It was wedged in between his braid.
Hmm.
Like it was so it's like how it didn't even go forward, right? So I think he turned his head So the pencil was sideways because I am not facing him sideways. I'm facing him head on. So
Right.
I feel like if people see me, it's like me giving a demonstration of the Trump incident, but it's not. Okay. So this guy turned his head, and I feel like if he wasn't a person that wore braids or
Mhm.
like had cameras in his hair, he probably would have got, in his head. Or if it was like I didn't throw it high enough, he probably would have lost an eyebrow. But
Damn.
it was so perfect that it landed in between his breast. And he was looking around and he was like, what? Because he didn't know what happened, right? Both of us was confused about what happened. And then they were like, they pointed to the pointed to the pencil in his head. And he was like, huh? He reached up, he took it out, he's like, oh my god.
Bruh.
It came back to my mind. I was like, oh shoot, that really happened. Eh? Okay. It could have
Oh my God, you said
ended
hey.
so bad.
You were like, that really happened, eh? I was like, huh?
Anyways, I was like, damn. Yeah, that was an incident that could have ended really badly. Like, if he listens to this, he probably would know it's him. If it's like a core
Wow.
memory. But if for me, it's like one of
Obviously,
those
because
things.
you almost like ninja his eye, like fam.
I don't know. God was on his side, bro. Or on my side. I don't know. It was a W for both of us because like he
A
didn't lose
W
anything
for
and I
both
didn't get in
of
trouble.
us.
He didn't lose anything. Nothing drastic happened to him other than his corner getting a bit loose, okay? But like, and I didn't have to answer to the authorities of like,
Mad.
oh, so what happened to him? I'm like, I threw a pencil, you know? Listen, anything is better than purposely picking up a pencil and slashing somebody's head. Okay?
Don't try to
Like,
justify it. It was
I
bad.
just
It
say
wasn't that
it's
bad, but it was bad.
exactly. It could have been like the story that my mom told me. But
Oh
it
my God.
wasn't. You know, I got like so many questions on that. It's like that's so disappointing. That was the outcome, and that's so disappointing.
Wow. Wow. People actually wanted this dude to lose an eye? What is
They're
wrong
like
with y'all?
they they were expecting it to be terrible.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Well, I don't know. But anyway, that's going to be all for this episode of the Mad Hatters podcast. I'm so happy that all the Hatters joined in for this one. And, if it's like later on and you guys are revisiting this one, thanks for binge listening, I guess. But remember to follow, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed it, and you follow the TikTok or the
Yeah, any
Instagram.
support helps.
Yeah, and we'll see you in Wonderland when we jump down that rabbit hole again.